So, last we left off, you guys had emerged from the apparent wreckage of a vessel from the sky with a body and a partial body of two of the people that were inhabiting the ship. You guys teleported back home and started trying to make plans for what you wanted to do for your next step, and it was eventually decided that Ichiri would be able to help teleport you at least closer to where you wanted to go. After that, you spent some time resurrecting, reincarnating the two bodies you had retrieved, turning the captain of the ship into a water genasi, and turning her partner, a former plasmoid, into a human. They're both very baffled, but happy to be alive. And meanwhile, there seems to be something of a language gap. Their common is present, but it's very strange. It's like if someone from Chaucerian times was trying to communicate with someone in the present. So with, again, Ichiri's help, casting tongues, you're able to communicate with them a little bit, but mostly they are talking to each other in their own language. That is where we're picking up. You guys are, I believe you said, in the parlor?
We were finishing up breakfast, weren't we? Something.
Well, you'd finished up breakfast and you made plans, and then you were resurrecting these people before planning on heading out.
Yeah, we brought her back in the living room, I think, because we put one body behind the couch.
Yes, there's more room. So Lish is kind of chilling after doing all that work.
The captain, Zilzana, now a water genasi. By this point, the tongue spell has worn off, but she kind of looks at you guys and says something in her language and kind of gestures like this, and kind of holds the blanket closer.
Oh, yes, we should probably get some more clothes for them, huh?
Probably.
Yeah, I don't think mine would be the best fit for them.
Demir is going to kind of eye the two of them up and then go and try and figure out which pieces of clothing from her, Levy, and the random pieces of clothes that were left from from Esme's family would fit.
I mean, you're able to kind of piecemeal together a few different outfits. And they both seem very grateful for the clothing. They are very confused. But they're trying.
Probably should have picked up some, little kids learn to read and write common books while we were in town getting supplies for this.
No, I mean, we get them some basics. We get them some basics, and then they can get a little bit of money and go buy their own things. Maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does anyone give them any gold with which to start their new lives?
They can hang out here for a little bit until they, figure things out. It's not like we're gonna be using our rooms anytime soon.
Yeah, they should probably learn at least a contemporary language and get used to their new bodies before we boot them out into the world.
And we do technically just have Levy at home, ready to teach them how to talk in anything.
True. Levy is.
She's the linguist.
Yeah, she's the nerd who took the linguist feat.
Ichi speaks up to say, I can, if necessary, cast songs a couple more times, but that would not be very helpful if we are intending on departing today.
Yeah, do we want to leave this evening, or do we want to hold out an extra day and leave in the morning?
I think we may as well leave tomorrow.
Instead of, resurrecting and dipping.
Well, I think we could leave them in Levy's hands. I mean, they're good hands.
Out of character metagaming wise, if spell slots were used, might as well just wait till tomorrow so that way everything is fully restored and refreshed.
And Tongues is a 3rd level spell. He's got up to level 8 now. Worst comes to worst, but
I don't pretend to understand how spell mechanics work.
Well,
It means
I guess
he's got a lot of slots because he's a nerd.
And I'm okay with the 2 spells I used. So we could go if we wanted to. It is an option. But we don't have to.
He's only cast Tongues twice.
Is Aaron back? I thought that he and
they're on a date.
dancer went off. Yeah.
I don't know, Aaron, are you back?
Or is the date
you guys
going
linger
well?
outside on your date that you rolled for to see how well it went.
Yeah, I remember that roll.
Uh-oh.
I think I think he makes sure to hit everywhere that he personally thought was interesting and important. But I don't think he's going to. But I think he's probably going to, head back when he's done with that, because there are important stuff happening at the house, and he can't take too much time off of that.
I was gonna say the reincarnate took an hour each. So.
And we did go shopping for supplies for the reincarnate before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he's probably just getting back.
So you get back and Volk's just like, hey Aaron, come meet our 2 new guests.
Good. So it was successful. And Aaron will
see a water genasi female and a androgynous human, both looking like a very baffled and kind of piecemeal outfits from whatever Demir found around the house.
Are you guys feeling all right?
They both look confused, and then one of them says something in their language.
Aaron's
There's
going
a-
to pause for a sec, and then stick out a thumbs up, and then shrug and look at them expectantly.
Persuasion check.
Ooh, that's not awful. That's 15.
They both kind of exchange a glance, and the captain
As you can see, there's a bit of a language barrier.
I suppose we could have expected as much.
Can Tobias try a thing?
What would you like to try?
Taking a piece of paper and then drawing a smiley face on the left, a neutral face in the middle, and then a sad face on the right. Nothing super detailed, just a circle, the two dots, and then like the mouth. He holds it up in front of the two space people, and then says, "I'm feeling fine," and he points to the smiley face and then to himself, and then he points to them and goes, "How are you feeling?" And then taps the paper and holds it out in front of him.
Persuasion check.
Really, a fucking what are they, 5-year-olds?
Can I give Toby some bardic inspiration for that?
Sure.
It's a D4, D6?
D8.
D8, okay.
Yeah, because didn't you just upgrade?
That's a 20.
All right. They once again exchange a glance. Captain Zuzana points towards the neutral face, and Bixalkiel points at the happy face.
Oh.
Tobias will smile and say thank you and then give a thumbs up. And then turn to them and say, "If all else fails, we have pictures." Pictographs, the oldest form of human communication.
And if we are going to push our traveling back a day, Tree said he would be willing to cast more tongue spells, at least until we can get them settled.
Up to
Is
you guys.
the captain anywhere near Renin builds?
Is she what?
Is the captain anywhere near Aaron builds?
Kind of looking her over. She seems kind of wiry in her build. Like, she can be fast, but she's more of a sprinter rather than a distance runner. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. All right. Let's see.
If we can have Eitri cast some more of those spells, we can ask more questions.
Yeah, I think we should delay a day so we can get these two more settled. Or I suppose we could leave a spell slot and hunker down in the fortress somewhere up north. Although sleeping in our nice warm beds also seems nice.
I don't feel right leaving them a day after their untimely resurrection.
Their new birthday.
They didn't ask to be born.
I feel like
Hey, they wanted to be together. We were making sure they were together.
I agree, but I think we should probably give them a little more of our time for what we have done to them. Yes. Samira is looking at Lish when she is like saying, like, I feel like we should give him more of our time.
Some time, but not too much time. I mean, we will leave them with Levy and our other house guests.
Yes, our other issues too.
We tend to be stepping in it today. Anyway, it's like we've reached a consensus. Ichiri, would you be so kind as to tongue up our cast tongue on
The
our
what now?
new guest?
He kind of makes a face at you and like exchanges a glance with Demir, but moves over to recast the spell on both of them.
Hey, Valk realized how weird what she said was, and course corrected.
Honestly, Demir and Itri are sharing the same look because Demir has the same, like, I don't fucking know, sort of expression towards Valk.
Tobias just looks toward Valk and goes, we really gotta work on your phrasing. We just really gotta work on that.
You know, get better at this slang thing.
Among other things.
Alright, so Itri has recast the spell on both the captain and Bexalkiel.
Well, we already chatted with Becky a bit, right? If I'm remembering last session properly.
You chatted with them a little bit.
You know, because we raised them first and didn't want them to completely and utterly panic.
Yeah. So Demir will kind of, since she had previously been speaking to them in tongues, so with them having tongues cast on it, Demir is just going to be like, well, you are certainly free to stay here if you want. We are departing tomorrow, but congratulations.
Yeah, welcome to the past. It doesn't suck as much as you'd think.
I'm sorry, can you explain a little bit what is going on?
Oh, yeah, sorry, you are really out of place. So, time is unraveling. You are in probably the past. We think.
Valk figured out
Far
that
past.
they're from the future.
Yes.
While talking to Becky.
Yeah. You are from your past, our present. Time is unraveling. We are working on it. And unfortunately, you fell through it.
We hit a wormhole or something?
Or
What's a
something.
wormhole?
Well, you are picturing like purple wormhole, so like when they travel underground.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's a wormhole. What?
Something like that, maybe? There are no worms involved. There is a wizard.
Okay. And this is planet Yana.
It is our planet. I don't know if there is a difference.
Before our navigation system went down, that was where we were going.
Well,
Probably is,
maybe.
then.
There's also been breaks in distances. So, we're just on the planet, our planet.
I don't know if there are other planets.
Maybe
There
you
are,
describe.
there are many planets.
Well,
Like the planes?
this planet has how many suns, how many moons?
1 sun, 2 moons.
1 sun, 2 moons, several continents.
You have a star map available.
No.
Foul.
At the very least, point us in the direction of someone with transport of planets.
There is not transport of planets.
There's transport to other planes. At which point Valk uses some basic magic to do a minor illusion. Kind of a crude replica of the planar map that was at the tower.
Captain Zildana turns towards Bexalkiel and says, perhaps we can, if we move through the Feywild, we could find a way back to our own time. Time is strange there. And Bexalkiel kind of shakes their head and is like, I don't think it works that way.
Well, you would technically be going the easy way through time. We could just freeze you. Time stop. Isn't there spells like traps that can lock you in time for extended periods of time?
How many years are we talking here, though?
Not without waste.
Well, if we run into another rift that leads further forwards, we would be happy to help you through it.
We should contact Zoda and see if she has any ideas or anyone in her department might.
That's a really good idea. We have a friend who works with time magic. She might know some things.
A chronologist.
Yes, I think that was the term she used.
And the Captain Zozana looks towards Bexakil again. Love, what do you think? And Bexakil kind of says, we can explore the avenues that are available to us, I suppose. But if you say that you have no access to transport of planets, there's probably little we can do.
Well, how old is your civilization?
We come from different civilizations.
Yeah, I know. How old is yours? Might not even exist yet.
You're asking about Bexalkiel?
Yes.
They kind of consider for a moment and says, time is more fluid as a plasmoid. My people originate from one of the asteroids in the upper field.
No clue what any of that means.
Do you have perhaps books that we can look at, or
Yeah, we have a
in our
library.
language? You
We have
don't
plenty.
You don't have anything in Star Speech.
I think we predate Star Speech. Since I've never heard of the term.
Our friend Levy is quite good at languages. I think if you were to stay with us for a bit, she would be able to give you a little bit more of an updating to your common. Well, maybe more of a backdating than an updating.
Bexalkill seems interested in that idea. And to Zulana you can very clearly see on her face that she's doing some like rapid calculations here. She's like trying to figure out like what are the odds of being stuck here and what are the odds of trying to survive and make a new life in this era.
Well, if you ever were to find your way back home through time, you could become the most prevalent scientists and researchers of this time.
Suppose, sorry, this is just a lot.
No, that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, that is fair. It is to be expected. But
these are a lot of big things we're throwing at you. It makes sense that you wouldn't know exactly what you want to do right away.
You are free to stay here as long as you need to figure out what you need to do.
She kind of makes a strange gesture with her hands and bows slightly. It's in a way that's completely foreign to you. But she says, my partner and I are very appreciative for what you're doing here for us. This is a lot. And you can see Bexalkiel kind of reaches forward and takes her hand and squeezes.
Well,
Understandable. I mean, it was a lot when you crashed on our mountain. You crashed on us.
our time period, I think, would be the most applicable
Yes.
part of that.
That was pretty unexpected. But Here you are.
Kill speaks up and says, well, I'm just glad that we have escaped the Star Kraken.
What's a star kraken? We have regular krakens.
It is a large, we'd like a thing. It uses gravity to propel itself and it feeds on ships.
Well, sounds like a kraken.
Sounds like a kraken in space.
Very dangerous. Creatures of the void do not need to breathe and they can create lightning storms.
Well, I don't believe we have any krakens that can do that.
Yes. I hope that you never have to encounter one. They are very dangerous.
Well,
Incredible.
wait a second. How dangerous? Perhaps we could aim one at our friend Ibuprofen.
How would you even get to Space Kraken down here?
Fuck if I know. I'm spitballing here. I've never had to fight a pseudo god before.
Star Krakens have a CR of 22. Let's see. I can pull up Iduran's CR because I have the stat block already for us. In just a moment. Because now I'm curious. Don't need Cthulhu. Don't need more Cthulhu. I will not be defeated by scrolling.
Well, she'll kind of pipe up and we'll say, we did manage to save a couple of things from your ship.
Oh yeah, it would
yes.
be good to get
Got
that
gun.
ID before the tongue wears off.
We can fly?
It's a pretty powerful weapon. It would be helpful for us.
What do you present them with? Oh, here it is. Iduran's CR is 29.
So it would certainly be a good distraction.
Anyway.
Oh boy. I mean, Leshy can take them over into the greenhouse and they can get a little tour of the house while they're at it and show the little sapling plants that they rescued. I think they got like a decent amount of the variety of plants.
All right, yeah.
We tried to get one of everything.
Yeah.
You got one of everything in one of the tubes. But yeah, they are able to I will note that Bexakil is having a weird time having legs. It's kind of leaning on its partner a bit as you walk through. But Captain Zuzana is able to tell you that those are plants, as you had guessed, specifically bred in order to create an oxygen supply in ships and larger ships will have larger quantities and maybe some larger greenhouses, but yeah, those are just created for the purpose of breathing.
Well, she'll ask him some questions in regards to like what do they usually eat and just curious about their biology a bit.
Nothing too out of the ordinary that you'd expect. They take water, taking carbon dioxide. Sometimes, like Captain Zolzana mentions, like something about fertile volcanic soil from Vaudreuil, which you have no idea what it is.
Was scribbling fertile volcanic soil in his little notebook. And then
yeah.
I guess we'll pull the gun bits and metal bits and armor bits out.
Okay.
Lay them all on the kitchen table or whatever table's big enough. Oh, the dining room table. Yeah.
So, this is then the labor gun. They are you need to buy radiant capsules in order to refill them to ensure that they would be of use. We unfortunately use much of our supply against the Star Kraken in our attempt to escape.
Well, perhaps it's something that Sniv can work on.
What is Sniv?
He is a tinkerer.
Okay. I mean, I would caution against accidentally blowing himself up, but if you believe that he is capable,
I'm sure Volk can manage that project.
What project is Valk working on?
Helping Sniv not blow himself up while reconstructing the guns.
Sure.
That's pretty confident.
Not so much the keeping it from blowing up, but more the dealing with the aftermath of blowing it up.
I'm sure, perfectly capable of not blowing it up. Or at least surviving a blow up.
Yeah, he's
a
tinkerer, I know.
In your home, if he's unfamiliar with asthma.
Probably better to do it outside, yeah?
Unless he has a proper radiant forge.
Radiant Forge?
Yes.
I don't know what that is.
In that case, I would recommend outside.
Demir is going to look to Volk and just be like, do you think you can get that message across to Sniv?
Yeah, he's been remarkably, listening as of late.
Well behaved.
So,
Your words are not inspiring me with much confidence.
Oh, he is my ward. Oh boy, there's no way to explain it. That sounds good.
We took him in after his family passed.
There we go.
Yeah. We are giving him the opportunity to adjust to life in closer proximity to the cities.
She can tell something's up, but she's not going to question it. Everything is already too confusing. She's like, all right, fine, this may as well fucking happen.
Well, we did kind of kill the captain, so...
Lish will kind of look at Demir and look at the resurrectees and just be like, are you hungry?
I would not mind some real food, to be honest with you. It has nothing but this food for quite a while.
Yeah, traveling
I'm
rations can
thought
kind of
that
suck.
way.
I'll make you something.
Most appreciative.
Sure. And Demir will stand up and kind of look over at Lish. Just a little invitation, and then she'll head towards the kitchen.
Lish will kind of gesture for the aliens to also follow. He is going to quiz them while Demir cooks.
All right.
He's very curious.
What do you quiz them on?
Tell me more about where you're from and the planets, and what technology do you have, and what's out there, and are there other sorts of aliens, and da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
Before Lish goes too far on the quizzing them about the universe, you can kind of see Valk get like a exclamation mark above her head as she's like, ooh, idea, and goes down to the basement and grabs some of our weird rocks and see if they recognize it.
We did find out what they were from the other thing, right?
Yeah.
True, but they might have more knowledge.
What do you think about these celestial rocks? Pretty rocky, huh? We've got 500 pounds of this shit.
So I will say that at one point, the tongue spell wears off, and you have to get Ichi back in to recast it. Zolzana has no clue what the fuck she's looking at other than, yeah, those are rocks. Bexel Kill kind of looks them over and says, these seem to be extraplanar in nature. They are they could be potentially used as an arcane fuel source. Just looking at them and making a hypothesis about their properties. And that is best I could tell you.
Well, that matches with everything we've been able to learn about them so far. Just one of the many weird-ass things that we've come across while investigating this time distortion stuff. Again, I'm sorry that you guys got roped into all of this. It's always hard to see everyday folks dealing with this. Yeah.
As long as we have each other, we can weather anything.
Well, that is a good perspective to have. While we have tongues up, is there anything we can get you to help you settle into the house?
You have to see. We don't really know what to expect. So it's hard to anticipate what sort of need.
That's fair. It's not a whole lot of space, but you're certainly welcome to use my room until we find a more permanent space for you guys.
That would be appreciated.
And I just quickly explain where my room is in the house so they can do what they need to do.
So, Lish, while you were kind of quizzing them on what they're saying, what their world,
tell me everything.
Like, they talk
what kind of spells?
They talk about different wild space systems and astral dominions and different types of ships and nautiloids and beholders. They talk about giant hamsters. And
what? In space?
And Thrycreen. Captain Zozana talks about how her race of people had come from Iana originally, but over the centuries had adapted to space and had become their own form of elf. They talk about things called like auto gnomes, which sound kind of like what Hawk is, but smaller. And they discuss space galleons and lunar dragons and star moths and wasp ships. And all sorts of things that just sound fucking bonkers to you.
Lish wants to know if they know any like cool magic.
See, Captain Zilzana pauses and considers for a moment, and she casts something that the components of the spell seem familiar to you in a way, as a glowing, radiant form of like, it looks sort of like the ray gun that she had been using kind of appears.
Whoa, pew pew.
Spiritual weapon?
Yeah, it looks kind of like a spiritual weapon.
Since when could spiritual weapons be guns?
Ray
Does
gun.
it just float up and smack the person, or?
spiritual weapon can be anything. It can be a ball of feral squirrels. That's cool. Lish will ask her if she can do anything else, and he just like wants her to like burn all over her spells so he can see, and she doesn't have to.
I am not much. Well, I am capable of little magic. I mostly prepare spells that I believe would be helpful for us in our travels, such as create water or purify food, just in case.
Very cool. Lish will use his minor illusion spell, and he's just like, I can create somewhat of a local star chart for your reference. I don't know if it'll be as diverse, as expansive as what you might want, but he'll just kind of minor illusion kind of the stars that he has seen over the years around the world. It's kind of a minor star chart. The big ones. Oh my god, what the fuck? Why?
Are they cursed to horrible
hamster?
Are they cursed to horrible deaths like regular hamsters?
Giant space hamster, large beast unaligned, armor class 11. They can bite you.
They can bite you.
A regular space hamsters, tiny monstrosity, so about the size of a cat. They have a thing called go for the eyes.
I love it. That's perfect. Fucking hamsters, man. I love them, but holy shit.
Anyway, what was the question?
This was showing the ladies a star, the ladies and ladies a star chart.
They look at the star chart and they chat about it with a bit, and they do come to the conclusion that they're either on the planet Iana or close to it, because our shift over time.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of just using their best guess.
I mean, with
Sharks are older
Lish,
than
he
the
could
North
give
Star.
them the whole trajectory of stars for a while, I bet.
I mean, he tries to do a little bit of that, but I think after a while he just like gets a little frustrated trying to track it. He's like, this is not working in my head the way it should. He kind of gives up.
Well, we now know what the name for our planet is.
Eania. Fuck, right. I forgot about the space penguin.
How could you forget about them?
I know. It's really homophobic of me.
Oh my god, they drink radioactive juice, huh?
My one complaint is they don't have rockhopper eyebrows.
Maybe they're just not the ones you're looking at.
Yeah, there could be multiple species of space penguin.
Mm-hmm. The Space Auk Society.
Anyway, Ichi casts the spell as many times as necessary.
I was
But
going to say, once, like, when the spell wears off in the kitchen, Demir will go to try and find Eitri to get him to recast it. Assuming, unless he's sticking around, but I assume that he would have gone off when he's not.
he's sticking around. He is interested in hearing these people talk, and he is taking notes on everything they're saying.
Okay, never mind.
He's a nerd.
Yeah, brother
Nerds
nerd.
love
I
sci-fi.
forgot.
But this is real fi. Or no, it's science reality.
But Demir is she's chopping up some meat and adding some spices with some vegetables and kind of stuffing it into some of the like day or two old bread. Like it's not gone stale, but it's not like perfectly fresh. And she's going to make some hawashi.
Hey.
Are either of them vegetarian?
Hope not.
So, neither of them seem to be vegetarian, but here's the thing. Plasmoids don't have mouths. And when they consume something, it kind of just shove it into themselves and it metabolizes. Zolzana has to show her newly human partner how to properly eat and chew. It's
I imagine it's simultaneously kind of sad to watch, yet romantic.
Yeah, pretty much.
Baby birding it into the mouth.
No.
No, that's actually a good point. Maybe we should start with smoothies for the plasmoid.
Former plasmoid.
I mean, you know, she can make a broth.
Like they're fine. They're getting it. They're eating slowly and like really taking the time to chew before swallowing. Like you can see that this is weird for them, but they don't dislike it either. They're actually both really enjoying the food.
Well, also there's, the in-baked processes of the body as well.
They'll get to that.
Not what I meant, but okay. Oh my god. Buck's not going to be the first one to get laid in her bed.
That's not what I was referring to, but...
Then what were you referring to?
The bathroom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. Someone's in for a surprise.
Anyway.
Yeah. Demir will make a basically like a chai tea as well. And like kind of use the scrapings from the like grill that she used for the bread and make like a little sipping broth for the former goo person. And I'll even make it a special healing food for them if they need it.
All right. I mean, are very baffled at everything that is happening around them, but they seem pleased at your hospitality.
They seem like
Please let
good
it not be
people.
said that we're not good hosts.
Well, unless if it's the vampire or the Rakshasa or...
When have we ever hosted either of them?
I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
When the captain hosted us, she was shooting at us. So I think, you know, we're doing much better.
Ooh.
I mean, in her defense, her ship was just attacked by a star crack, and everyone on her crew died, including her partner, and she didn't know where she was, and strange beings started coming into the cockpit.
Yeah,
we're not holding it against her. We revivified her. Not revivified. We resurrected her.
Space cavemen started coming out the walls. Well, we'll just, I guess, keep chilling and asking vague questions until we can't cast any more tongues, and then I don't know. Lish will try and tell a little bit of modern day history if anybody else wants to pipe up with fun facts.
Well, let's see. Each tree can cast tongues. Where are you? A total of 11 times per day if he uses all of his upper level spell slots.
So that's 5 hours of being able to communicate with the two of them overall. And we probably started raising them around noon. So we can talk through dinner and then they'll retire.
All right. Is there anything anyone would like to accomplish for the rest of the day?
Yes. But it can wait if anyone else has more important things.
I need to give permission to Sniv to work on the laser gun. And see how he's progressing on the face thing.
He's working on it. You can see that he made a little progress since you saw him yesterday.
I wasn't going to be like an asshole-y nag, just a check-in.
He seems to be dividing the scraps of fabric he cut into piles. But he also happily takes the laser gun and takes it over and puts it with some of his alchemical ingredients that he's acquired. We'll see how volatile it is.
But yeah, so Falk's just like, here's the gun, here's the extra pieces we have. This is an outside project. I am more than happy to help you set up the place outside, but this is an outside project. Do I have to roll persuasion?
Yeah.
16 plus ads. 24.
I believe Volk comes with ads.
Fine.
Thank you. Apparently, it's very reactive.
Oh. So are you all.
Yeah, but we do a pretty good job of not actively setting off a giant explosion in our house.
Yes.
I cannot argue that. I would just appreciate it if this was an outside project.
He rolls his eyes, but agrees.
Thank you, buddy. If you need any particular additional supplies for it, feel free to reach out. And
I could just borrow some from town.
I heard nothing.
What? I use finger quotes.
Excellent. Anyway, I love you, buddy. Gives him a little head, whatever, and proceeds upstairs.
You know, when you kind of like start petting your cat and they are being stupid about it and try to like bite your hand.
Well, someone's not good with affection yet.
Anyone else before Demir does whatever she's plotting on doing?
He's also the second oldest member of the party.
All right, Demir, I think it's you.
Okay, cool. Demir is going to find a way to try and corner each tree if she can.
Yeah, I mean, no problem. Once your new guests have decided that they're all done having tongues cast on them over and over again, he has moved to the library and found a nice big atlas, and he is looking at the mountain range that you guys are hoping that he will teleport you guys to, so that he can actually like know where the fuck he's going. More or less.
Do you have any warm clothes? It is beautiful, but it's cold, dangerous.
I have enough warm clothes.
Not like Marhaba. That's for you. What do you have?
Snow before.
Huh?
I have seen snow before. I know what to expect.
When have you seen snow?
While traveling around looking for you into different places.
Where have you been traveling?
Why are you interested?
Just curious.
He kind of smirks a little bit and pulls out his he has the atlas out and he starts flipping through some of the pages. Says very briefly went to northeastern Ahawi. Saw some of the mountain ranges there. That was mostly just out of my own curiosity.
Well, fine. Dress yourself, I guess. But if you starve to death, if you freeze to death, if you die out there, we're not bringing you back right away like we did with those. We are bringing you here, and we are going to wait until I get Mom back, and then we'll bring you back. Yeah?
You say that like you wouldn't be stuck up there without me.
We are perfectly capable of getting around.
I'm
Obviously.
sure you are.
Yes, we are. Thank you. I'm not trying to fight. I'm just trying to make sure you don't immediately get killed out there. That's all.
Well, I am made of tougher stock than you might think.
I'm sure you're very capable. Don't think I don't see what's happening here. Of course I know what's happening here.
You say you're not here to fight, and then you start using your fighting sword. So
You know
I would
what?
appreciate it if you would make up your mind.
Fine. I'm just saying, I know what you're doing.
What is it that I am doing?
What you always do.
How would you know what I always do?
Oh, was I not around when you were born?
Do not think that anything I did in infancy was purposeful to spite you.
I know it wasn't. I know it wasn't. You were just a baby. But now I have something that can't be stolen. I have someone who loves me. And if you want to have the rest, that is certainly something you can have.
I'm not trying to steal anything from you.
We're doing this to get Mom back, yeah? That's all. And Demir will just kind of turn and head back towards the exit and just...
As you turn away, you can really just kind of sense his disappointment. Almost, it's almost palpable, his disappointment, and you, at the door, there's just something about the thought of your younger brother in a foreign continent standing in this room alone with a book that he is trying to use to make sure he can help you.
Demir kind of stops in the doorway and just turns to look at him and
It sucks, doesn't it? I'm sorry. I'm not going to do what Mom and Dad did. I care for you. Let's work together. And I don't know.
Before you can say anything further, he walks across the room towards you and just gives you a hug.
Demir kind of is frozen for a moment, didn't know, like, doesn't seem to know how to react, but then she hugs him back. And just hugs him real tight.
And he says in Mojave, I know that things are difficult, but I do love you, big sister.
I love you too, little brother.
He's taller than you, so his hug is warm and all enveloping.
Demir is going to, like, kind of reach up and just, like, fingers in his hair a little bit so that she just a little bit of, like, I'm still older than you. Honestly, just stays in the hug for as long as he holds it.
He eventually releases you and kind of sighs and runs his hand through his dreadlocks and says, if what you want is for me to stay out of your way with your friends, I can try. I will transport you, but I will stay out of the way.
There's no real need for that. My friends practically already love you, so let them. We all know you're a lot easier to love than I am, so.
I wouldn't say that. I've seen the way they talk to you, the way that they adore you.
They are patient. Some of them too patient, but let's see how useful you are out there, yeah?
Well, I can try, at least. As I said, there to be helpful. Not much of a fighter, but I can hold my own.
Take cover, stay out of danger. Like I said, if you die, we're not resurrecting you until after I have Mom.
That seems fair.
And, Demir will just... I'll let you get back to preparing whatever you were reading about, nerd stuff.
He kind of chuckles and leans over to give you a kiss right there on your forehead, and moves back to his nerd shit.
Demir will go and find Lish and just kind of sit down next to him and put her head on his shoulder and join into whatever he is doing.
What are you doing, Lish?
How much more interrogating aliens have we got? Are we out?
Well, I would imagine that at this point it's after dinner and folks are getting ready for bed.
Hmm. I don't know. Maybe he's just shooting off some minor illusions of things to communicate with the alien gals a little bit more, and after that they probably get tired and want to sleep somewhere. So I guess he would, like, I don't know, would Volk want to take the aliens upstairs and get them settled, and Lish will just kind of flip through his notebook in the parlor, I guess, or wherever is quiet.
Demir is just going to kind of poke around the house until she finds him, and then just sits down at his side and puts her head on his shoulder.
He just kind of punks his head against hers and, kind of more or less keeps flipping through his notes.
All right. Does anyone have anything else they'd like to accomplish before bed?
I don't.
Volk probably has the conversation with Hawk that I had with Max in the chat.
All right. So the night passes uneventfully. You will come to consciousness in the morning without incident. There seem to be no more snakes stabbed to the front door, which is a good sign. Maybe. You all get ready to teleport. Let's see. I need to roll for E3. Okay. So how close to the mountain range do you guys want to be? Let me take you over to the Alpern map. Because E3 can teleport you like directly to the Aonair Mountains, or you can be a little out, like closer to the glacial lake, just for safety.
I would say we would want to be fairly close, since we're not like setting up camp for the night before traveling. We're directly traveling as we arrive, so probably not like directly on top of the mountains, but like close is my vote.
I mean, we don't know where in the mountains the dragon is, so we might want to, I don't know. I was gonna say we might want to try and find the Dwarven city, but that's further south, huh?
I think maybe the base of the mountains, and then we can kind of get some altitude and see what we find.
Start on one end, work towards the other.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
If there's any like civilizations we spot out there that we can get direction from,
All right.
it might be handy to have your brother if he can speak in tongues. If there's people up there that we can not communicate with. Unless Levy would like to come. And Levy's like, I'm busy.
Fuck that.
I got mothering to do.
I appreciate
I've
the
got
offer,
people to
but,
explain how to speak modern common to.
Look, yeah, I appreciate the offer, but you guys literally just said that there was a snake stabbed to the door. I gotta keep an eye on the children. Because that's fucked.
Boo, let them fend for themselves. Boo.
2 children, a kobolds, and 2 aliens. What could go wrong?
All perfectly, like, civilized and...
Oh, don't forget the fact that Kobold's going to be actively tinkering with an explosive here shortly.
Nah, we have
Outside.
3 hobby spies, 2 aliens, 1 kobold.
And a
partridge
partridge
in
in
a
a
pear
pear
tree.
Tree.
Anyway,
Anyhow, does
so
Aaron have any ideas?
Aaron has a lot of ideas.
What are Aaron's big ideas?
Share them with the class.
I mean, I think as far as what he's up to in the evening, I think he's just gonna like rifle through his stuff and like see if he owns anything that would be like useful or nice to leave with the aliens. But I mean, I think that's most of what he's up to in the evening.
all right. Well, we have moved on to morning, and we are figuring out where we should teleport to.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I don't think he has any specific ideas.
You want to take a dip in the frozen lake?
Mountain or lake?
We hit the lake, then we don't have to hit it later.
Well, do we want to start south and work north, or start north and work south? Since
I think it's more of a east to west sort of thing. It's the Aenear Mountains, right? Which mountains?
The Aenear Mountain.
Yeah, right. So left to right or right
east
to
west. Yeah, that makes more sense. Well, do we want to start cold or do we want to start less cold?
It's all
It's
cold.
all
Why don't we
cold.
Why don't we start cold, and then we can warm up over the journey instead of having to prepare ourselves for worse and worse temperatures.
I'm curious about this giant hole in the middle of the mountain. We see that on the map of the continent? Is there a giant hole on the map?
Nah,
Damn
that's
it.
mostly for my own knowledge of where the water from the lake is coming from.
Sure. I don't know. I say that we start at the tippy top right hand side and then work our way down towards the river mouth.
All right.
Any opposition?
Sounds good to me. Toby, do you have any thoughts?
Twice.
I mean, Ichi, are you comfortable enough with the map for that?
So here's the question. Do you want me to roll for Ichi's teleport, or would one of you like to roll?
I think Demir should roll. I think that her brother fuck up should be in her hands.
All right.
You're
Sure,
shooting.
I'm down with that.
You're shooting for like the river, the mouth of the river. Okay.
I think so.
Percentile dice, please.
Alrighty, let me roll some percenties. Whoop. 44.
Okay.
Oh no.
The good news is you've narrowly missed a mishap.
Oh boy.
That would have been a 43 for mishap. Okay, but okay. Let's see. Okay. So Ichi starts to cast the spell. And you gotta love teleportation. Okay. Almost immediately the air around you turns cold. It's frigid and it's snowing. You are near what seems to be a small lake with a river leading to it. There are shards of ice in the river. And you can see that the lake itself is also at least partially frozen over.
Whoa. Pretty good aim. Good eye.
Ichiri kind of scratches his head and says, This is not a glacial lake. That does not match the description that I read in the books last night.
So we're just at a lake?
Yes. I think that we are on Alperen, but this is not the correct lake. You're a little off.
Take it's cloudy.
What?
I take it is cloudy.
Yeah, it's snowing.
Can we at least see the direction of the sun?
Yes. It's very early morning, but you can see that the sun is rising to the east.
And so we know which way north is, at least.
Right. Looking around, can we see any mountains, any like recognizable features?
Roll a nature check or a survival check.
Oh, hang on.
Aaron's also gonna look around, unrelatedly.
Nature survival. Okay, they're the same. All right. Fucking. Okay. That's 21.
21. You are able to see see the peaks of mountains towards the north. To your west, to the west, you can see a little bit of a forest frozen over. The trees are covered in snow. You're muted.
Right. Yeah. Demir will point out the woods that way and just looking at our map. I wonder if we are at the Artak Lake.
Could be.
Well, at least we are on the correct continent.
Lish will pull his map out of the area and tap that there's a town not too long from here. We could see if the weather clears a little bit more, if one of our familiars can get some height, or we could take the owls and get some height, see if we can see a town.
That town in my research is an orcish town. They tend to be rather isolationist.
We don't have to say.
I could try to teleport us closer, but that would mean that I would not be able to create a more comfortable place for rest this evening.
Oh, I can take care of the comfortable place to rest.
You have your own demi-plane.
Demi-plane, but Leoman's tiny hut in conjunction with our tower.
You have your own demi-plane? I feel like we're glossing over that.
Sounds like Utri has some opinions about that. Hovel.
Leoman's tiny hovel.
Hold on.
We also have the fortress.
He wanted to come out adventuring with us. He has to deal with yeah, exactly. He has to deal with accommodations that adventurers have.
Yeah. E3, you said you were capable of dealing with the climate and the outdoors.
I absolutely am. I am offering to teleport you, or at least I can, if you so choose.
Samir is going to look at the group fancy. Like, what do you guys think?
How far
minotaurs we met did say that the orcs are good for trade.
I wish we had our orcish guide again. She was handy.
I could disguise myself, but I don't think that we need anything, do we? I think we should just start a journey.
I think we were more checking to see if the city was there to confirm our location.
Well, we can get in the air and see. But I mean, can we tell from the? Can we see a distance at all, DM? Can we see the
Roll a
like
perception
three?
check.
Tell me, Lish, what do your elf eyes see?
Jack shit. I don't know. Let's see. What display regular perception?
Mm-hmm.
What, we're not stacking bonuses, not giving them guidance, and someone assisting?
I got a 29.
Never
Right.
mind, not
And-
needed.
And what are you looking for? Signs of life?
I am looking to triangulate us between these three sets of mountains. We got the Geldian Mountains, the Anir Mountains, and the Bjerger Mountains, and juxtaposing ourselves, Bueller,
Sure.
Bueller.
with the sun and the time of day and the three mountains that I can see. Can I pinpoint where we are relatively?
All right. You would estimate that you're like close to here-ish.
Okay. All right. Well, then we know that we need to go in this general direction. We need to go up, that way.
Well, we could go up and then work our way left to right through the mountains.
This distance here between where we are on the map and then the nearest northern mountains, how far of a travel does that appear to be? How like many hours, days, etc.?
It would probably be a few hours.
Okay, so on the owls, it would be even less probably.
Well, a few
About the same.
hours on owls.
Okay. Well, it wouldn't take too long just to take the owls and go. Start our exploring of the lower mountains and then head northeast.
And it
Okay.
would preserve Etri's demi-plane.
Yes.
Any
Right.
objections?
It is not much, but it is at the very least a warm place to rest overnight.
Doesn't Leoman
Any-
make a decent temperature?
No.
Leoman's tiny hut does regulate the temperature, but he doesn't have that stuff, so he doesn't know that.
Comfortable and dry. It's good for a plan B.
Do you use Leoman's tiny hut as like a diving bell? Friendly question.
I think it has air permeation.
But it's dry, so it specifically blocks water.
But you would still drown because you wouldn't have new oxygen.
It's
Those
fair. We need to use
plants.
another spell to fill it with. We use those plants in a Leoman's tiny hut. We have a diving bell.
We bring one of those little plant clippings that we got and we go put ourselves under a dome under the ocean, and I'm sure that nothing could go wrong.
Avery is like, there's no bottom to this. The water gets in underneath.
It's not a sphere, you know.
We're gonna
And-
ocean gate ourselves. It's fine.
Oh
and
yeah.
it's stationary.
I mean,
We
it,
get crushed by the pressure.
We were so intrigued by the Tales of Space Krakens. We want to go get attacked by a normal one.
I mean, I'm not gonna stop you from doing that, but I'd have to spend some time getting maps ready.
Going to find the underdrow. The underwater
There
drow.
are deep merfolk, by the way. They exist. They are gray and they have anglerfish light. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So you were gonna fly with owls.
get the snowy owls out and start flying towards the eastern mountains. Not the eastern, the southern mountains.
All right, you're headed towards these guys right here. All right.
Yeah.
Takes you a couple hours to get up there. These mountains seem very icy, very dangerous. Lots of cliffs. Do you continue to cast bird time?
I mean, how do the snowy owls seem? I mean,
They seem like they're a little uncomfortable, actually, in this area. Like there's something here that they want to avoid.
oh.
But they are doing as they are told.
Well, tell them to keep an eye out for anything unusual.
Okay.
And we'll kind of keep to a quote unquote slightly lower elevation on the mountains. Like we're going like a little bit less than middle way up them, I think. We're not going from like peak to peak, I don't think. Just because I think the air quality and the cold quality would be fucked. So
I was gonna say, is everyone wearing cold weather clothing?
Yes. We all own it and we're wearing it.
Yeah.
Is he tree?
Otherwise-
Like Demir was trying to make sure that he had cold weather clothing.
He is wearing cold weather clothing.
Good, okay. Yes,
Aaron's going
Demir
to,
is also.
Aaron's gonna spread his like fur blanket like over the owl that he's on as much as he can. Try to keep his owl warm.
Do we
The
want
owl
to try?
is less concerned about the cold and more concerned that there's an apex predator in the area.
Well, that's comforting.
Do we want to try using locate creature at all?
What's the range on that? I don't
1,000
think it's
feet.
1,000 feet.
And we have seen a dragon, so we could locate dragon.
I don't think I have that prepared.
Aaron is going to check for Fey Fiends or Undead real quick. So he can do that.
I don't have it prepared.
Aaron, what's the range?
Oh gosh, let me check. If my internet would load. Ooh, not very far. 30 feet.
Not really getting anything from up here.
Yep, that checks out. Alright, well, that's what he can do.
Alright. You've been flying for about 4 hours by the time you reach here, which is where you were hoping to teleport in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
You can land or you can continue to circle.
What is the daylight looking like?
I mean, it's still snowing. You guys left in the morning, so it's probably about noon now.
I suppose we could stop, eat lunch, and formulate a specific strategy for crisscrossing the mountains trying to find this thing.
Sure.
Also, I will say, Glacial Lake close enough now that you can see it. Frozen solid. There's a reason it's called that.
Oh yeah.
Or at least apparently frozen solid.
The Kraken is in there.
There's something in there.
Oh boy. I love that. So not
Is
cryptic
that
at
where the
all.
dragon lives?
I don't know, is it?
Guess we'll find out. Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's probably a good idea to keep our altitude as much as we can, right?
Yes, we need to rest for a bit, though, I think. I mean, unless we want to eat lunch on the backs of the owls, which we can do. Frosty, hardtack.
We can probably break for lunch.
Okay.
Get a campfire going at least.
Do you land in the mountains or near the shore of the river?
Probably like, I don't know where the little V-shaped dip towards the river is, like
Right
in here maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
Something with a decent vantage point.
Okay. So, after flying for a little bit, you're able to find a cliff face that is kind of overlooking the river, and the river itself is largely frozen as well. Like the entire surface is frozen over. And you're kind of in the spot overlooking it.
Well, I don't have locate creature, but I could use augury to see if we're going in the right direction, at least. Unless if anybody has something better.
You could scry on
Augur
it.
away.
I can do same.
Tobias, can I have you roll a perception check, please?
Well, you could do an agree for if we should be moving north or east, and I can do one for if we're supposed to be moving east or west. And then we'll have a vague compass direction.
Well, it only knows things for the next 30 minutes, so.
Tobias rolled a 19 for perception.
Okay. Cool. I'll message you something while you guys figure out what you want to cast.
Lovely.
Oh boy.
Well, augury is only a second level, so it's not much of a spell slot wastage, unless if somebody has something better.
Nope. Augur away.
Okay. Rolling dragon bones, or applying some other definition. You receive an omen from an otherworld entity about the results of a specific course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes. I guess the plan is continue flying, east? Along the edge of the mountains to find the dragon? Is that our plan? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're just
Bulk.
keeping on going.
Okay,
Definitely
Volk.
put find the path.
Volk gets out her bones that are inscribed for this that she picked up a little bit ago.
Probably
And
a good
rolls
idea
for-
to specify you
What am
want
I
finding
specifying?
the dragon to be. Just probably a good idea to specify that you want finding the dragon to be a win condition, because that's also
okay.
something that could definitely go poorly if we find it.
Yes.
And we're not asking about that.
We're not asking about how it'll happen. I'm asking if we'll be successful in finding the dragon flying along the edge of the mountains to the east. Ha! Roll them bones.
Within the next half an hour?
I don't know if about the results of a specific course of action that you plan to take within the next 3 minutes. So I don't know if it says we'll find the dragon in the next 30 minutes or if we're doing it in the next 30 minutes, it'll count. So leaving in 30 minutes. If that's the right direction to leave, I think is what we'll get. Wheel and woe on.
Yeah, I think we should look more directionally instead of trying to find if we'll encounter the dragon or not.
Basically, if that's the correct direction to go.
Wheel.
Okay, bones say fly east. Follow the mountains. So that takes a minute. I have my bones say numbers. Okay, so let's eat and head out in the next. That's where we need to go. Hopefully.
Is anyone doing anything during lunch?
Lish is debating on the merits of using bones to tell the direction that we should be going.
The bones don't tell us the direction to be going. The bones are a way for to be communicated with by otherworldly entities that I'm calling out to with the spell.
Bone?
I'm not asking the bones, I'm asking something else, and the bones are how they communicate.
Bone!
I can get the ghost answer if you prefer the ghost answer.
I am
To the bone one.
endlessly curious as to what the ghost answer could possibly be. What do the ghosts know that we do not?
Well,
Yeah, we could double check with the ghosts.
Yeah, I mean, probably similar stuff, but sure.
If you'd like to.
Do we think we're going to need Arnold to go look at anything today?
Well, we don't know where we're going.
Yep.
Besides east, with a little north.
Yeah. I can refine
What
that
can
answer
Arl tell us?
somehow if you want.
Arnold says, get more bear traps.
No, bigger bear traps.
Haha.
Arl says, fucking priest.
Oh
to
shit,
death,
now we
motherfuckers.
know where all the bear traps have been coming from. It's from Arl's influence.
All right. So what are you doing with Arnold then?
What am I doing with Arnold's?
What does Grandpappy say?
Yeah.
Grandpapa.
Grandpapa.
If we all reach out to the different entities that we've all made deals with, then surely we will come up with an answer that leads us in one general direction.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're heading to the east, a little north. Yeah, I mean, I guess I really just won't ask the same question as Valk just did.
Well, we could wait, ask Harold until we've traveled for a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe, maybe burn an odd like tomorrow morning or something, or like dinner or whatever.
Yeah, that way we could figure out if we've overshot it or not.
Oh, that's a good point. Well, we can just play, Cosmic Hot and Cold with this dragon.
Well, we don't have a better
the
idea.
weirdest game of interdimensional I Spy. I think we're heading forth then?
Okay. No one has any other conversations they want to do before we charge in, bells blazing?
How is Eitri doing? How is being on Owlback? How many times has Eitri vomited?
He was fascinated by it, actually. He really likes the owls. And he was... Roll an insight check.
If Eitri tries to study me, I'm gonna kill him. Where the fuck is my correct thing? Okay, what is it? Insight? Oh my god. 13.
13. He's examining the owls and he looks like he wants to say something but is deciding against
it. Insight check again.
Just roll an insight check.
Insight again.
Should have rolled better than 13.
Well, okay, but I catch him thinking that he wants to say something that he's not gonna say, and so she'll kind of sidle over to him and just be like, "Interested in the owls, are you?"
I am, to be honest.
What do you think?
Well, I have never seen owls this size or color before. I was wondering if it would be all right for me to take one of their feathers. Not one that would hurt them, of course, but...
If you ask politely, perhaps they would be amenable. I cannot guarantee that it will stick around once they return back home, though.
Well, it's worth a try. Can they understand me?
Lish kind of looks at the owl, gives it a little scritch under its little owl chin. Just kind of shrugs.
I do not know how to speak with animals, unfortunately. So perhaps I'd better go off.
Do you speak Sylvan?
I speak primordial.
Lish kind of laughs at that.
That's like, a different
language. I don't know if they can speak primordial, but
I do not want to risk offending them. then in that case. So maybe I hold off.
Lish will speak in Sylvan to the owls and ask them, would you be interested in giving our friend here one of your feathers?
They indicate to you that they don't give a fuck. Again, as long as it's one of the feathers that they don't need for flight.
As long as it ain't a furry flight feather, who the fuck cares?
Just takes a primary flight feather. Lish will kind of run his fingers through the feathers of the kind of side of the chest and see if one comes loose.
One comes loose pretty easily. Beautiful feather, very crisp white with little bit of gray fuzzy around the edges.
Lish just kind of gestures with it a little bit, like, easy enough.
Eitri takes the feather and thanks you for it and examines it before he kind of shrugs off his spellbook backpack and sticks it between a couple of the pages to try to preserve it.
Demir is just kind of chin hands watching that interaction, just like.
Lish is just kind of watching, kind of looks to see how he reacts.
Ichi really seems to enjoy the texture of the feather.
It might be polite to give something of yours in return.
He considers for a moment and flips through his spellbook to the back and produces a sprig of rosemary. Which he gives to the owl, and the owl kind of holds it in his beak.
Tuck it up into the feathers. Little feather decoration. You got something to say, Lars?
Yes, I was not wanting to interrupt since it's an out of character question. How do you handle identifying potions? Are you able to sip them for a clue? Do you have to use identify, which is expensive?
Identify,
yada, yada.
or you can do an Arcana check to guess.
In conjunction with the sip, or?
No, you need to drink the whole thing if you're drinking it.
Okay,
drink it and worry about what it'll do when it starts happening.
Who has the best Arcana right now?
I have identify.
Yeah, but that costs a pearl each time, right?
I think that I have it as a thing. Let me just double check.
3 has a plus 11.
Identify is
Arcana?
You don't. It doesn't. The pearl doesn't get burnt up. It is just a conduit.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I have it. I have it as a first level. So, do you need it to be identified?
I have 4 midge potions that are still not identified. And it could be potentially helpful for coming fight.
Demir's magic eyes might help narrow it in.
I also have identify, so I could take 2. You could take 2.
Yeah. Easy enough. I can do that. It would burn 2 first levels, though.
Yeah, so that's something you'd like to do right now before a dragon fight.
would like to at least figure out 2 of them before the dragon fight. I think would be helpful.
Might have been something that we should have done last night.
Yeah, well, I didn't remember.
Can Demir's magic eyes at least clue us in a little bit as to their effects?
Which one?
Yeah, what do my magic eyes see?
The keywords are teeth, wild, ominous, and storm.
Teeth.
Hold on. Teeth is transmutation. Ominous, you said?
Yes.
Also transmutation. Storm is conjuration. What was the 4th one?
Wild.
All.
Oh, wild. WILD.
Yeah. All.
Oh,
schools of
sorry.
magic.
All magic?
All schools of magic.
Oh,
checks out.
It's a potion of wild magic.
I bet. Yeah.
Well, I would like to identify the storm at least. That could be helpful.
What, you don't want to summon a flump? I want to summon a flump.
Okay. So who is identifying the storm potion?
Demir's spell slots are less. So, I mean, I can do it.
I have 4 first level slots, yeah.
I'll do it.
So you cast Identify on Storm. The description is, break this bottle to unleash a ferocious lightning storm within a 50-foot cube that rages for 1 hour.
Not bad.
You know, that could be a pretty handy nuke to flush out the dragon.
If you can throw it hard enough. How's your aim?
I have catapult. I can send this fucker flying.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to do on your lunch break before continuing on?
I need to thank Midge when I see her next.
All right. So, I assume you guys get back onto the owl. Start to continue your flight. At this point, I'd like to ask for perception checks for anyone that would like to make one.
Tobias will make one.
Are we able to provide advantage, or do we have to roll individually?
You have to roll individually.
Damn,
Well,
Tobias ain't seeing shit. That's a 6.
You were
Volk
distracted
is
by
very much paying-
with what you saw earlier, Tobias.
Fair enough.
While Volk isn't particularly good at it, she is very much paying attention since we're flying into dragon territory. That would be a 16.
Okay.
15.
15?
And rolled pretty badly for him. He also got a 15.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
30, 20.
What are we rolling for again?
Perception.
Perception.
Passive or active?
We're just rolling for it.
19.
Okay. Eitri actually starts seeing things first. You're here flying around these ancient mountains covered in ice. And Eitri is the first one to point out something that doesn't really belong. There is a skeleton of a whale, partially disassembled and left bare in the elements near one of the peaks of the mountain.
How big of a whale?
Very big.
A snack. A dragon snack. Dragon refrigeration up here in the mountains.
Wow. The dragon has been participating in whaling. That's really problematic of it. Don't they know that that whales are a protected species? Oh my god.
Demir, since you got a 20, which is one other your brother got, you also notice some more rather large carcasses. You can see the skeletal and partially frozen remains of some caribou in one area, and you can see a small gap in the mountains right around here-ish.
Oh. Okay. Demir will I assume she's riding with Lish, so she's going to point out the gap to him. And just I think we found it.
Does there
Or
appear
at
to
least
be
where
like,
it likes to eat.
yeah, does there appear to be like the food is kind of radiating out from that area?
More or less.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, I hope that is the dragon from the D&D movie. Big chungus.
Big chunk.
Chubby dragon, my beloved. No, but your mind is drawn to what you were told and what you read back in Alperin about how the dwarves of Torim started trying to mine up here, and were promptly consumed by the dragon. But you get closer to this little entrance.
I think we should land back from it. If this is where the dragon is, we should be prepared for it before we approach, yeah?
Yeah, a plan might be a good idea.
Can we do a flyby, like a flyover, look around, kind of get a lay of the land, sort of?
Yeah, this entrance is fairly small, but it's cold emptiness just feels wrong to you in a way. Shards of ice hang from the sort of archway entrance, kind of glittering in the light, and the mouth of what would have once perhaps become a mine is now a yawning chasm, dark and foreboding. Seems to go deep, and it's shrouded in shadows. The frigid air is just thick with the scent of sulfur and decay. And you can see some dwarvish runes glowing faintly above the entrance.
Ooh. Are we close enough to be able to read them?
I mean, if you know Dwarvish.
I do not, but I do have comprehend language if no one else does.
I gave up my dwarf to be able to do sign language.
How close is
Nope.
Dwarvish to Goblin?
It is not.
All right, I'll cast comprehend languages on myself so I can read it.
It's a very simple script that reads, "Enter not lest you seek doom. Beware the wrath of the northern inferno."
Well,
We're in the right spot.
we literally flew to the part of the map that says "Here be dragons."
Yep. This is the "Here be dragons" warning. Yeah.
Good thing that's exactly what we're looking for.
I mean, we found it. Very helpful. A little too helpful. Makes me a little nervous, but...
Well, let's hunker down somewhere nearby and put together the battle strategy, shall we?
Works for me. Is there anywhere where we can land where, like, are there any kind of rocky outcroppings that we can get a look for the, like, feeding area, but also stay out of sight of it?
Not really.
Well, we could
What
hide
is
in the
this?
whale corpse.
What does this cave entrance kind of look like? Is it just like a regular cave entrance, like straight into the mountain, or is it kind of more of like a dip down and descending? What are we looking at from the outside?
Perception check.
$17.
First of all, it does not look like it's necessarily big enough for a dragon to fit through.
Oh.
But it does seem to descend.
Maybe this is the mine that, or the mine entrance, I guess.
Or
It's
the
the-
dragon's able to change its size.
Also that, yeah.
Would certainly make it easier to fly around with a whale. Ooh, how does Itri's demiplane work?
He has access to 1 8th level spell per day. He can cast the demiplane, and you can go in and out for an hour before the door is closed. In the morning, he can cast demiplane again. That will allow you to step back out of the demiplane into the prime material plane.
What else does he have in the way of eighths?
That is his 8th level spell. He is a 16 level wizard.
Okay.
Fair.
So that would be most defensible way to hunker down nearby while we build our plan and then hit it in the morning.
Maybe we should send one of the familiars down into it and see if they can find anything. I could send Bright Mellow down with my fine familiar.
Do you want to feed Bright Mellow to a dragon?
He can be invisible when he's fine familiar.
And
He can be invisible and very tiny and small.
I believe in Bright Mellow.
I'd rather not
I could
sacrifice the
send-
fair to the dragon.
Farworld's down. He's invisible by defaults.
What about Biog? We could send Biog down. Biog can explode and not be worried about.
Well, let's ask.
Yeah, what do you think, Hawk? Oh, sure. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
mean, Bright Mellow seems like a good option.
Wrong type of lair.
The greatest.
I like the
That's
new
not an answer,
shower.
Mac.
This is just fine.
All right.
Yay! Okay, we got our blessing to kill Biog.
Biog is a little owl, perfectly suited for this environment.
Okay.
Should we have Demiplane up before we do this so we can dip when Biog dies so the dragon then doesn't come out and see us?
I mean, is the dragon really going to come out for a little owl?
It'll just eat the owl.
It
call
eats
it a day.
fucking whales and shit. Like, I don't think that an owl that's 90% feathers is going to be an appetizing.
Might smack her.
I mean,
though.
she's barely a mouthful for us. Like,
Just repeatedly eating familiar to stay alive.
I'm pretty sure the meat would disappear.
I feel like that would be like eating a fruit fly. Like, someone like us just like, yes, a fruit fly, a worthwhile snack.
I know many creatures that eat fruit flies.
depends on
Well,
your
how-
size, you know?
Well, how long does it take to
Something
cast
our size.
Demiplane?
Oh, let me just double check. Let's see. Takes an action.
Okay, so we could dip fairly effectively when Biog gets splatted.
If we need
Okay.
to dip.
There's not really anything in the ways of trees around here, is there?
No. A lot
We
of
are
frozen
above the
cliffs
general.
and a lot of bones.
I can grow a bush.
All right.
Just one
you're-
bush. Not suspicious at all.
I can
So
grow
you're-
5 of them. I could scatter them around. It would look natural.
So you're sending Biog into the dragon hole.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll have,
Seems to be
can
where
we
we're
have
at
Hawk-
right now.
Can we have Hawk look through her eyes as she goes and dictate to us?
Okay. Okay. She starts to flutter through the entrance of the dragon's lair.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Should we get temp HP going now, or
I don't
should
think
we?
a point to it. She's only got like 1 hit point.
Yeah, okay, I was more
could
referring
make
to the
the
rest
owl
of us,
invisible.
but I think she gets that as a familiar.
Can we hide in a tiny hut or something while this is happening?
Yes, we could.
Do you want to take
That's
the
a good idea.
past tiny hut?
It takes a minute if I'm not doing it as a ritual.
Okay.
And then, because it's late enough, right, that we could rest here and then
All right.
either attack right away or.
Do you want to rest in the tiny hut or do you want to rest in the demi-plane?
I think we're gonna rest in the demiplane, but we'd be so defended in the demiplane that there's no issue with casting tiny hut for while we send in Biog to scout.
All right.
If nothing else, it's like basically our FBI van that we're setting up across the
Exactly.
street. Yeah.
Okay. So you cast Liamon's tiny hut. What color do you make it?
What
Get match the snow.
are we snow or are we rock? Because I'm casting it to match the color of where we're at.
They're on
Rock might
snow
make more
next
sense.
to
The
rock,
snow's-
so that each tree can have a flat surface to cast demiplane on.
Then probably white.
Okay. So, Biog flutters through the entrance to the dragon's lair.
Bye, dog.
There's this is basically what Hawk is describing to you. It seems to be a narrow tunnel that's winding its way gradually downward. The rough stone walls slick with thin layer of ice. And the further down Biog gets, the more the ice starts to recede, giving way to bare, jagged rock. It gets a little warmer as the further she goes. Eventually, the tunnel widens and the path becomes steeper. There are little natural alcoves in the rock with sort of a slight bioluminescent fungi glowing in them. There are scorch marks in places on the stone as the tunnel twists and turns, sometimes narrowing to a tight squeeze, other times opening up to small chambers with ceilings high above. There are stalactites and stalagmites that form sort of grotesque, otherworldly shapes in the very dim light. The sound of dripping water becomes more frequent, kind of echoing off of the stone walls. And after what feels like an eternity, Biog arrives in a massive, cavernous chamber. She can see, one of the first things that she sees when she arrives in the room is a large pile of gold. There are still chunks of stalactites and stalagmites along with broken pieces of it on the ground. With the stalactites hanging from the ceiling and stalagmites coming up from the ground, I know the difference. She starts to fly a little higher to get a better view when the connection is cut off.
Uh-oh. Got trumped.
Okay, let's cast that dimension and bail.
Okay. All right. Let me switch to a different playlist then. Because each demiplane looks a certain way. So since this is a demiplane and not magnificent mansion, it's probably not as big as you would expect, but it's a small room that looks almost like a Marhaven style courtyard. At the heart of the space, there's a small bubbling fountain, which is intricately designed and made from carved stone and mosaic tiles. The gentle sound of water trickling from the fountain creates a serene atmosphere. The fountain is circular, about 5 feet in diameter, surrounded by a shallow basin of where water overflows, kind of creating a calming effect. The ground is paved with geometric patterned tiles reflecting traditional Marhavi art. The pathways are arranged symmetrically around the fountain, leading to different sections around the garden. The tiles here are a mix of kind of earthy tones with the occasional splashes of blue and turquoise. Circling the walls is a small raised plant bed with fragrant herbs, including lavender, mint, and rosemary. There are also flowering plants, such as jasmine and roses, and a single small olive tree. There are plenty of places to sit as well, with low benches with colorful cushions and throw pillows in rich, vibrant fabrics. There are various rugs laid out in traditional Mohammedan style that are soft to the touch, and small tables of wrought iron and mosaic tile tops. Intricately designed metal lanterns hang from the ceiling, providing a soft glow, and the stonework on the ceiling has been enchanted to look like shining stars.
When Demir steps inside, she's like momentarily taken aback. It's like stepping back into home for her. And just
It is not much. I mostly created it as a comfortable study space for private if I need it. The water is it's fresh, but it can be enchanted to be tea or Mohammedan coffee as well.
coffee, real coffee.
Question: is he able to drop the door before the hours?
I mean, yeah, if he wants to.
Because he's casted it inside the dome. The dome will disappear the moment that Valk goes through the door to the demi-plane. I don't necessarily want to leave the door open on the other end for a dragon to go through small openings.
Maybe what we do is we keep Volk in the outside of the door in the hut so that we can, because we can look out of the hut, right?
Correct.
Demir,
So why don't
Valk
we
sleeps outside.
I wasn't going to say that. I was more referring to like we could see even if the dragon is coming out of the like tunnel, we could get a look out of it, and then like if it sees us, if it sees the hut, then we just slam the door behind us.
Well, we don't want it to see the hut, so the moment it emerges, we should probably get.
Well, when the hut is invisible, well, blended in.
It's white.
It's still
so
a
from
white
one
dome
direction,
sitting on the ground.
So from one direction, it's pretty hidden. From another, not so much. So Valk's kind of inclined to dip into the door moment the dragon appears. And so each should be ready to close the door the moment Valk drops through. Is kind of a thought.
Yep.
Okay, so Valk hunkers down for an hour or the emergence of the dragon, whichever happens first.
All right, roll a perception check.
Does anybody want to help me in watching for the dragon, or is Valk doing this solo?
I'll
Are
give you
you-
some
you're
bardic
outside?
inspiration.
And Darren will sit outside with Valk.
I'll give all three of you bardic inspiration. Pop, pop, pop.
Ooh.
She gives
And you know what? It feels like this is the time to use my basically every last one of my ads on this. So D4s, a D8 for bardic inspiration, advantage. Let's do this. Well, I rolled a 3 and an 8. 8, 16, 18 is my best roll.
That's cute.
Anybody got better?
Aaron got a 28.
Okay.
Aaron got a 28, and that was with getting a 2 for his bardic inspiration.
Holy shit, dude.
Okay, Aaron, what do you see?
What do Aaron see, though?
You guys hang out outside of this abandoned mine entrance. Snow continues to fall. It all seems quiet.
Too quiet.
Too quiet.
Well,
So
how
are we-
long do we hold out before we say fuck it and go into the demiplane?
Are
We have up to an hour.
Resting for the evening then?
Yep.
Okay. Alright. It's up to you
Refreshing
guys.
spells and strategizing.
All right. The
So-
conversation is yours.
So Lish and Aaron jump through the door, and then Bulk rolls through after them. Uman's tiny hut drops. The door gets shut behind her.
Well, at least the dragon isn't on to us, at least.
As far as we could tell.
As far as we could tell. Would have been nice to get eyes on it, but it is probably better that we not yet.
Seems like it's pretty far down in there, so
Yeah, I mean it's also possible the mine shaft was just people who found the den, and it's somewhere else connected to the thing.
Yeah, it might
Maybe there's another
navigate
exit,
elsewise.
Yeah.
maybe it's not even there and Bjorg just flung itself into a landing.
R.I.P. Biog.
Possible. Hawk, does Biog do stuff like that? Wow, shocker.
Wow, Hawk,
Good.
you're so chatty today.
Can we get Eitree's spell list for strategizing purposes?
You can ask him.
Hello, Eitree. I know you're more specialized as a support caster. What do you got in the way that could help us in the dragon fight? I know you can summon that Jinn.
I think that is as far as defensive spells go. Psychic Lance of Phantasmal Killer might be helpful. Otherwise, I am good for preparation, casting things such as Fortune's Favor or Haste.
Ooh.
I am also capable of casting Counter Spell. And the worst comes to worst, I also know antagonists in case we need a distraction.
Haste on Valk would be sexy,
Quite true.
since she's very much built as much damage as possible, as quickly as possible. To do a couple extra would be mwah.
I would like to see haste on Aaron too.
Aaron's fast.
I know. Wouldn't you want to be faster?
Oh my god. Aaron doing a fucking instinctive pounce with haste up.
But no, the additional action is what I
Yeah.
think is particularly sexy for Valk.
Aaron could move 120 feet in a single turn with haste
Oh my god.
if he felt like it. Anyways, yeah, an extra action would be good for Valk. For sure.
Let's see. 2 dash actions. That would be triple my speed, so that would be 120 times 2 would then be 206. And then aren't my wings actually faster than my base movement speed?
Okay, well if we're dashing both turns, then
I don't think there's gonna be a ton of room to move around in this cave.
I think we're just doing a thought experiment at the moment.
Okay, so wings give me 60 feet, which I bump up to then 70 feet because I cheat. Times 3 is 210. Times 2 again is 420. 420 feet in a round with haste.
420?
Yep.
I can get 480. We're just having a dick measuring contest now. Nothing useful is happening.
I want to see this 6-second race, man. 420 and 480 feet in 6 seconds.
Just pew.
You're literally going from like 0 to like, you have to go 0 to like 140 something in 3.5 seconds. Like,
hell fucking oh.
Let's see. 20 every 6 seconds. The spell lasts for 10 rounds, so 420 times 10 is 4,200 in a minute.
Ichi gets tired of this conversation and moves over to the fountain, turns it to coffee, and takes a long sip.
I think Demir was already over there. Like, the minute that she finished giving Bardic Inspiration to everyone, she went to the fountain. Coffee.
So
it is a good Turkish coffee.
So
when
Valk,
when Lish comes in, she is going to like be like, come here, and give him some coffee.
So
oh yay, more human food.
Alk would be approaching 50 miles per hour for a minute. And Aaron would be just about 55 miles per hour a minute.
Zoom.
For a minute. Zoom.
Yeah, I think we could both outrace a car in that amount of time. That's the important thing, really.
Great planning session for the dragon, guys.
Well, we'll probably start next session with planning since we've hit noon.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because you spent at least 10 minutes talking about haste maps.
I'm sorry. I've been looking forward to Valk getting hasted for a while. Thank you very much.
Well, you guys are all in the demi plane, created by Itri. There's coffee. There's warmth.
Lish will take a sip.
There's spices. Traditional Marhaban style relaxation. And that's where we can call session.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
I think we can probably do some of our dragon planning in the chat and then try and start session next time with a plan.
Absolutely.
Not a bad idea.
For me.
I mean,
Demir has
dragon
finally
fights
gotten a
take
good
time.
coffee. Her goal for like this is the first time in the campaign she's gotten her good coffee. So
It's
Oh no,
literally
wait, we had
all
the
she's
coffee
been
shop. I
fighting
do
for.
remember the coffee shop. Never mind. I'm wrong. Second time she's had that good coffee.
Wow. In any case, thanks for playing, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you next
GG.
time.
GG.
GG. Bye.